Imagine spending months preparing your partner visa application, gathering evidence, writing relationship statements, collecting photos, travel records, and documents, only to discover that information you've shared online tells a completely different story. Now, before we go any further, this video isn't about deleting your Instagram account, and it's not about being perfect on social media, but it is about understanding that your visa application tells a story about your relationship, and sometimes your social media history tells a different story. When that happens, questions can arise. In this video, I'm going to explain how social media can impact your partner visa application, the common mistakes couples make, and what you should do before lodging to avoid unnecessary problems. If we haven't met before, my name is Joanna Hill. I'm a registered migration agent and the founder of Port Migration. For 10 years, I've been helping couples navigate the Australian partner visa process. One thing I've learned is that many couples spend weeks preparing evidence, but never stop to think about whether all of that evidence tells one clear, consistent story. By the end of this video, you'll understand why consistency matters in a partner visa application, how social media can sometimes contradict the evidence you're providing, and what practical steps you can take before lodging to make sure your evidence works together rather than against you. Let's get started. Your application and social media need to tell the same story. At its core, a partner visa application is about demonstrating that your relationship is genuine and continuing. That's what Home Affairs wants to understand. When you submit an application, you're providing evidence that helps tell the story of your relationship. Your relationship statement tells a story, your documents tell a story, your photos tell a story, your travel history tells a story, and in many cases, your social media presence tells a story too. The strongest applications are the ones where all of those pieces fit together. They create a clear and consistent picture of the relationship. The problems usually arise when there are inconsistencies. For example, imagine a couple says in their application that they began their relationship in early 2023, but public posts appear to suggest they were together much earlier. Or perhaps they state they've been living together continuously, but other evidence seems to indicate long periods apart that haven't been explained. Maybe one person still has public information suggesting they're single, or perhaps important dates don't seem to line up. Now, none of these things automatically mean there's a problem. Relationships are complicated. People forget to update profiles. Life isn't always neatly documented online. But when information doesn't align, it can raise questions, and questions often lead to requests for further information, additional evidence, or delays. This is why consistency matters so much. Not because social media is the most important evidence, but because everything should support the same overall story. Before you lodge your application, review your evidence as a whole. Ask yourself, if somebody looked at my relationship statement, supporting documents, photos, and publicly available information, would the overall story make sense? Because that's ultimately what you're trying to achieve, a clear and believable relationship story. Now, here's something many couples never think about. It's not just your own social media that can create inconsistencies. Sometimes it's other people's. Many couples focus entirely on their own Facebook or Instagram profiles, but what about photos friends have tagged you in? What about public comments? What about posts that contain important dates or events? Again, this isn't about investigating every post you've ever made. It's about understanding that information exists in different places. And ideally, all of that information should support the relationship story you're presenting. Common social media mistakes couples make. Let's talk about some of the most common mistakes I see. And the good news is that most of them are completely avoidable. The first mistake is forgetting about old public information. Maybe you created a profile years ago. Maybe you haven't updated your relationship status. Maybe there's outdated information sitting online that no longer reflects your current situation. Most people don't think twice about it until they're preparing a partner visa application. The second mistake is inconsistency in timelines. One of the most important parts of a partner visa application is establishing the history of your relationship, how you met, when the relationship became serious, when you started living together, major milestones along the way. If the dates in your application don't align with other evidence, it can create confusion. The third mistake is assuming social media alone proves a relationship. I see this surprisingly often. Couples have hundreds of photos together on Instagram and assume that's enough. The reality is that photos are helpful, but photos don't prove everything Home Affairs needs to know. A photo doesn't show how you manage finances together. It doesn't show shared responsibilities. It doesn't demonstrate long-term commitment. Photos support the story. They don't replace the story. And the fourth mistake is trying to fix everything at the last minute. Sometimes people realise there are inconsistencies and immediately start changing profiles, deleting information, or updating years of history all at once. That isn't always the solution. The goal is not to create a perfect image online. The goal is to provide honest and consistent evidence. I remember speaking with a couple who had excellent evidence overall, joint finances, shared living arrangements, strong social evidence. But during the preparation process, they realised several public profiles still contained outdated information from years earlier. Fortunately, they identified the issue before lodging. We were able to ensure their relationship timeline was clearly explained and supported by their evidence. The application told a consistent story, and that's what matters. Before lodging your application, create a simple checklist. Review important dates, review your relationship timeline, review your relationship statements, review public information where relevant, and make sure everything supports the same story. To be clear, I'm not suggesting that Home Affairs routinely reviews everyone's social media accounts. The point of this video is that your application should be accurate, consistent, and supported by evidence. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. And this is where I think many people focus on the wrong thing. They worry about whether they have enough photos, when the real question is whether all of their evidence works together. At Port Migration, we often talk about eligibility, evidence, and errors. This topic sits firmly in the evidence and errors categories. The issue isn't social media, the issue is inconsistency. Strong applications don't rely on one piece of evidence, they rely on lots of evidence working together. Your documents, your statements, your financial records, your social evidence, your household evidence, your commitment evidence. Everything should point in the same direction. And when it does, you're giving Home Affairs a much clearer picture of your relationship. Let's quickly recap. Social media alone doesn't determine whether a partner visa is approved, but inconsistencies between your application and your broader evidence can create questions. The strongest applications tell one clear and consistent story. Your relationship statement, your supporting documents, your photos, your evidence, and your public information should all align. Remember this, the issue isn't social media. The issue is inconsistency. And consistency builds credibility. If you're preparing a partner visa application and you're not sure whether your evidence tells a strong and consistent story, I've created a free partner visa guide that walks you through exactly what Home Affairs is looking for. You can download it using the link below. I also run a free Partner Visa Basics webinar where I explain eligibility, evidence, and errors in much more detail. And if you'd like personalised advice about your situation, you can book a call with our team at Port Migration. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future partner visa updates. Please remember that the information in all our videos is general information only. It is not migration advice. The impact of Australian migration laws can vary widely depending on your circumstances, so seek advice from a registered migration agent or migration lawyer about your individual case. I'll see you in the next video, and until next time, all the best with your application.